Hi everybody, welcome back to Starfield Raw. This is episode number 39, and I am Joe the Wigit, and I am joined by my fellow, I like to use Intrepid a lot, but because it kind of fits you in a way, my overly worked, half-dead co-host, Mr. Rook.
What's up, everybody? I am not half dead, I'm mostly dead. There's a difference.
And we are joined by someone else tonight. And I interrupted you again, like a tool.
You do that every time.
I do. Go ahead.
How dare you? But introduce Kilo, our special guest.
Well, I don't know about special. But if you guys have heard Raw and Nerdy, he has been on that. He's been on an episode with us, and we thought he did extremely well on that show. So we asked him to come join us on Starfield Raw. So he is here tonight, Mr. Kilotango.
Hello. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here, even as a not special guest. It's going to be a good time.
We might bring him on for a few more episodes. We'll see how he does.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
No pressure.
Do you prefer just being called Kilo or?
Kilo's fine. That's what most people call me. Well, internet people.
Fair enough. Yeah, most people call me Joe, but that's cool.
Most people call me Jeremy, Rook, or Jer Bear.
Most friends in my life call me KT, which is where Kilotango comes from. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But Kilo's fine.
All right, Kilo. Let's get into it. So we've got
Let's do it.
Big show. I don't know if we're even going to have time to do a main topic, but we've got a lot to talk about tonight. I do want to get into the news first, because there's some little things that Kilo put in the notes that I think are really good to bring up. What's our first one?
Well, the first one is an article I came across, trueachievements.com, which is very interesting. They are tracking the Xbox Game Pass gameplay for all their games on Game Pass. Starfield is back in the top 40 after being unranked last week. It is now number 31.
You know why, though, right? It should be simple.
The announcement of the update.
Yeah, it's got everyone excited about it, me included.
It's the first update they've released where they actually have content coming out with it.
None of the hosts on the show have the Steam version of the game, so we can't get in the update. But I've had a couple people from our Discord, if I can talk straight tonight. I was having a lot of trouble talking before the show, and it seems to be carrying over. Dr. Tiki was kind enough to come on to Discord with me, and he showed me screen sharing a lot of the different features of the patch and all the different settings they're doing. So he guys gave me a live demonstration of the map and everything. It looks incredible. And now playing awesome. The game feels kind of lackluster.
Because I'm waiting shiny to come back. Yeah, waiting for that shiny. Yeah. Well, I thought that was interesting, but then I found another article that I also thought was very interesting. It was a Game Rant article. And I think actually, personally for me, given everything that we've heard and dealt with in the community over the last few months, this is the most interesting to me. Because according to this Game Rant article, criticism for the game is not matching the performance of the game in the market. Starfield is currently 11th place for best-selling game of 2023. They beat out the Resident Evil 4 remake. They beat out Mario Kart and Elden Ring. Which are all great titles.
I'm a little surprised about Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
Within the first month or two, they had over 10 million sales. They hit over 16 million, I believe.
Wonder how much of that actually gets hit by the Xbox subscription plan. If that's even included in that, or if it's just straight Steam or Xbox straight sales.
Oh, if the Game Pass numbers are included in that, that's a good question.
Because I don't know how they would really track that metrics, but
well, they could track the downloads and the game time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but how that would perform, considering like how does that apply to a best, like how the game's selling, I don't know.
Yeah. I think they would actually go with. I don't think they'd actually go with the free stuff. They'd only go with the best selling actual.
Well, it's not really free when it's something they're trying to move towards with the Game Pass. They, you pay this monthly thing, just like Amazon or Netflix, and you can play all these games. So it's not really free. You're still paying for it, but I don't know. I think it's a little wishy-washy there.
It's one of those gray areas.
Yeah.
Well, we did report on it early on in the show that Xbox announced that Starfield was responsible for something like, it was responsible for the biggest boom in their subscription sales. As soon as that game released, it went through the roof. It was like 64% increase or something like that.
Because they gave you the best options if you got the Game Pass edition.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's not surprising. Yes. I know that once these updates start hitting that are adding content, because I know that after this one, we're going to have another big content update. Bethesda's been hinting to it all over the place. Most likely the ground vehicle one, you're going to see everyone coming back to Starfield. And it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I think it's going to go the same way that 2077 did, where, it was a rough start, not quite as bad as that one, but it was a rough start, but they're bringing stuff out. And what people need to realize, I think people need to kind of develop a little bit of patience about, is that Todd Howard has learned from seeing other companies mess up and has learned themselves that don't put a hard date on anything, because then you're going to be expected to deliver on an unfinished product, and that's just going to get you in more trouble. So
honestly, it wasn't their fault, because Todd Howard actually stated once that he wanted another year to work on it.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that time frame because Xbox said, we got to get this out in correlation with the launch of their subscription and all that kind of stuff. So,
not to mention the merger with Microsoft. So I'm sure that was all playing into it. Like, hey, if we're gonna do this business deal, then this and this has to happen.
I have full confidence, and I've been saying this for quite a long time. Sorry, Rook. This game is going to become absolutely unstoppable in the next year.
Yeah. So to piggyback off of what Kilo said, Todd Howard is paying attention to what's going on with not only 77 and No Man's Sky, 2077, Cyberpunk 2077. There we go. That's the game I was looking for. Cyberpunk 2077, No Man's Sky, and their own game, Fallout 76. How keep working on the game. People will keep playing it as long as you're working on the game and showing improvements. I think that's the way they're going. Like you said, I think that's the way they're going with this, is they're going to keep pushing out improvements. And eventually this game's going to be one of the greatest games. We'll be talking about this a year later. And it's like, what did we say at the beginning?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a new era for video gaming that we all have to realize, right? You guys are all about my age. You know, back in the day when we were in middle school, you go down to Blockbuster, you get a little cartridge. That's the game. You know, it's a completely different world. And especially when it comes to some of our favorite developers, I think we just need to kind of chill out, give them the space that they need, and then we get to enjoy the game.
Bethesda has such a huge proven track record. It's unreal. Yeah. I mean, I understand a lot of the reservations about a lot of games lately, because companies like Blizzard, who were massive and considered one of the best studios ever back in the 90s, completely tanked. They can't do anything right to save their lives right now, and that's mostly because they were bought out by one of the devils. Yeah, a lot of these big companies are just not putting out what they need to put out. But Bethesda has. Yeah, they had an issue with Fallout 76 in the beginning. Their design plan wasn't what it should have been, but they fixed it. A year later, that game is a lot of fun. It's way better than it ever was.
Yeah, I love it. And they're actually listening to feedback because, again, with Bethesda, Fallout 76, the biggest feedback was the game felt empty. By the end of the first year, they added a lot of content, and now the place feels like it's a lived-in world.
I would love it if they went the same route as 76. Every 3 months, they do major content updates.
Elder Scrolls Online does the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of Bethesda's biggest trump cards that they have, is that they are listening to look at Sony. How good is Sony at listening to their people? They're so damn quick. My head spun, So, I mean, a lot of these companies are starting to realize, like, look, in this new world, in this age of information that we're in now, where feedback is instant, gratification is wanted instantly, you got to listen to your fan base.
And not the over-annoying, over-loud minority. Those people are wrong.
Right. No, Bethesda's doing it right. Look at this at Steam with the beta testers.
Yeah.
Look at Creation Kit, where they already have the Creation Kit in the hands of developers that have worked on Fallout 4 and Skyrim. They know what they're doing.
Skyrim was the most modded game in history and considered to have the best mods ever made by fans.
Well, yeah.
I agree.
I can't argue that one.
Yeah, there's no way to argue it. The proof's all over the place. But to put it in a short, a lot of podcasts have closed their doors on Skyrim or have
Starfield.
Why did I say Skyrim? Because we were just talking about Skyrim, but Starfield. Yeah, see, I told you I'm on a roll tonight.
I was about to say StarCraft.
We didn't want to close the doors because we have faith this game's going to become way better than it already is, and it's still an amazing game.
Right. Absolutely.
So, why don't we go right into our gameplay and go from there?
Beautiful. Why don't we?
So, Rook, I'm letting you go first, dude.
Cool, because I got the least amount of stuff.
Yep.
So, I want to make a comment about what you just said. We had a lot of talks behind the scenes about where the show is going, and I'm glad we stuck with it.
Yeah. I told the guys from the get-go, like, I have a really good feeling about this game. It's gonna change.
The numbers scared us a little bit.
Yeah.
But Bethesda kept working on it. Game's going great now, or going on the right track, and I'm still loving the game. I just haven't had a lot of time to play it, especially the past 4 weeks.
I had a blast with it, like always this time. I don't put as many hours as I used to, but I'm still in the game every week.
We're still rookie numbers compared to illness.
Yeah, who else even topped that?
Holy crap.
No, we had someone else that topped it. Was it Anna?
I don't remember.
Was it Anna?
Yeah, it was Anna. I thought she had like over 1,000.
Maybe. I thought she was at 800. I could be wrong.
I think it was her.
Anyhow,
anyway.
back to my week.
Yeah, back to your week.
All right, so as everybody knows, I'm running the Freestar quest line with my soldier because I actually have decided to see what the storyline is like with a soldier. I find myself playing him more as a dick to authority.
All right, I'll keep that in.
I had to say it like that because I went to talk to Rod Pope, and I was not nice to Rob, but subordinates and everywhere. I am as nice as can be, or not trying to kill everybody. I've actually been doing a little bit more persuasion with this character. So
what's the fun in that? Well, I'm kidding. I love persuasion.
I don't want to get everybody in Neon mad at me.
That's fair.
That's really a city you don't want them to be mad at you.
Exactly. So I went and finished off the quest line. So in the first quest line, there's 3 times you get triggered for the soldier option in your conversation. Twice on the moon, Montara Luna, and then once when you're talking to, I forgot the head ranger's name, but when you're talking to him, you get it one more time. Since then, not a thing. I even went to find the lady that was at the clinic. One of Maya, I think it's Maya, the one that you end
I
up.
don't remember.
Yeah, she's the one that you
Smuggler?
end up. No, not the smuggler. She's the hacker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're at.
I bet. Yep.
All right, so I went ahead and started doing her quest. I was nice talking to everybody except for when I was with Ron Hope. Okay, Rob Hope, or is it Ron?
It's Ron.
It's Ron.
Yeah, one of those.
Mr. Hope.
Mr. Hope, and pretty much tell him, yeah, I know your station and all that. Pretty much being a punk to authority. What do you expect from a soldier?
How many times have you done these missions?
The Freestar? Twice.
Really?
Before this one, twice.
I could have swore it was like 10.
No, not quite. I don't think I've done it with my bounty hunter yet because she went UC first because she's a member of the UC. So I did all the stuff on Neon, got all the information I needed, talked sense into the syndicate leader, and then left, went to the station to, sorry, my mind's just running in races right now. Went to the station where went to the clinic. That's the name of the station. Went to the clinic and did that quest line, being nice to everybody. And when I went to the space that she hacked, I actually found myself using military tactics without thinking about it.
The second part of her quest is where I got killed a lot, and I hate those bugs.
Surprisingly, I bypassed 90% of those bugs. There's actually a secret area where you can go, and if you stay up on the crystals, you can sneak around to an area where you drop down on the other side of a sealed door where all the bugs usually kill everybody.
Yeah, that was a very harrowing moment when I was on my hardcore character trying not to die to him.
I believe that. Yeah.
I'm playing on the hardest difficulty. That was the easiest time I've had in that quest line. When I realized, hey, look, if I use tactics and actually hop around on these crystals, I can find a way behind it and get through there. So I went through there, took out all of the turrets around her area, and almost died 3 times. But I caught myself paying attention to my health when I had a sliver left, keeping myself alive.
Oh, those turrets are some of the nastiest in the game.
Oh, it was the robots that almost killed me. The turrets didn't do crap.
You caught yourself. Thank you.
You heard the
I was saying, oh, great. Where's my pen and paper? I got to bleep that.
Oh, no. Well.
Yeah, I caught myself right before I said it. But yeah, the robots were the more painful thing. The turrets didn't really bother me that much. But I went up, talked to her, didn't get any soldier options, granted her wish, and just left. And that's pretty much where I'm at.
So we got to call you Rook the Genie now?
Why?
You granted her wish.
Hey.
Sorry, that was terrible. I had to.
She's ill. She had to make a wish. It was to leave her alone, so I left her alone.
That is one moment in the game that hits me every time I do it. It just does, dude. I feel that one every time. I'm like, oh.
I did one thing that was pretty evil once, just because I was playing my evil character when I did that one. I let her, have her peace, and that to make Sarah happy, and then I went right back in and killed her, so it didn't affect the story.
This whole story arc, when you start dealing with the first and everything, is actually one of my favorite stories in this game, just because of how personal it can feel with a veteran.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You feel that one.
And I hate to say it, but when you actually pay attention to what they're saying on how they feel betrayed and stuff, you get that a lot from veterans that have been in combat.
Right.
Anyhow, let's go to happy stuff. I hate this mag sniper.
Yes.
I was given advice. Inside chat, and I was told by Jack that I need to charge it to shoot. Well, I do that, and I still don't see myself doing as much damage as with the Beowulf, but it could be I'm using the Beowulf faster because I can shoot faster with it.
I'm going to have to do a deep dive on the Mag Sniper because I don't think the numbers work the way a lot of people think they work. I don't think it's counted as a ballistic weapon, even though it says it is. I did it on my character. I had a Mag Sniper that had energy weapons maxed out, and the Mag Sniper was doing the damage it said, but when I have it on my ballistic character, not even close.
It could be that they have it built coded wrong or something. But like I said, my character is only ballistics. I haven't put anything in any energy weapons or anything like that. And I still find myself with the mag shot. Is that it? The pistol? Yeah, the mag shot. I still find myself using that and putting out a lot of damage. I guess it's the mag sniper. You have to be accurate for it to really do some damage. And ballistics don't work against everything. And I was testing it on robots, so I will go find...
I've proven that.
I'll go find something that's not physical resistant like robots and see how well it works with them before I say screw this and we'll go with the hard target.
So I have a question for everybody listening. Are you team ballistics, team energy, team laser?
Energy is laser.
Separation between
you mean energy and particles.
Thank you. That's the one I was going for.
There you go.
One of those three, because there's not really any other options.
Yeah.
But I know all three of us are ballistics.
Yeah.
Actually, my bounty hunter, not my bounty hunter, Kalen, my current soldier, actually uses a lot of particle weapons.
I noticed that I had one of my characters, my politician character I was building, he went strictly energy based. And putting the right energy weapons in his hands, he was devastating. I was really, really surprised.
One thing I've noticed, when you pick up armor from the different groups, pay attention to what they come stock with on the highest defense, because that is typically what each of their armors is carrying when you're fighting them.
Unless you're like me and has everything ballistics and sniper maxed out with stealth and no armor counts.
True. I also found for this character, I do need to make a second ship. It needs to be slightly smaller, more of a drop ship style ship, because I think it would fit the character a little bit more than my really big exploration warship. Or just make a really big warship.
So last week, before you get in his last point here, I used... We have a host website that does for our podcast, and they had this new AI thing that they're touting about. So I decided to try it on our last episode for Starfield Raw. And it came out with a description. Normally the description is supposed to be like 2 or 3 sentences, but this one had half of a book, at least 7 or 8 paragraphs. It was so hilarious, I had to post it in Discord, and I had to show it to Rook.
Okay, so the funny thing about this is there are like 3 or 4 groups of paragraphs, and it changes the title of our show in each one. And then everybody who has played the game and came across her knows how boring Dr. Sola Baglawala is in general. And it called it an exciting encounter with her. And I'm like, what? They think I was going into combat with her?
I think that's what I thought, yeah.
But it was just funny sitting there reading it. I read it and I just started laughing so bad because the AI was just so dumb.
I think at one point it called us the ultra exciting podcast.
Yeah.
Time for a brand name change right there. Time for a brand name change.
I know, right? But yeah, I had to bring that up because I did not have any exciting encounters with that doctor this time, and that was the one thing that made me laugh so much. I was literally trying to read it while
he was in tears. It was great.
But that's been my week, pretty much, guys.
Yeah, have you got some exciting encounters with her? I wish that was possible. That'd be just too funny.
I won't tell you that I boarded her ship and what we did behind closed doors.
Imagine the AI twirling its mustache when you said that, the way you said that. I was just, sorry.
Okay, that's fair. I was just thinking, you can board her starship and, blast her rockets, but...
Why would I do that? I would just give her a couple of rocks.
That was...
You have a couple of rocks for her?
Yep.
Okay, we're getting way off of this area.
No. Keep it going. What else we got?
All right, Kilo, what have you been up to, man?
Yeah, I've I have there was a period there I was a little bit, not as in the Discord as much. I had a little bit of health stuff going on. Finally going back to work, which I'm happy about, but it did give me a lot of time to play Starfield. I think I'm like, I don't know, about 7.5, maybe 8 days in to playing this character, which is not a lot compared to a lot of you, I understand. But I finally went through Unity, which I kind of didn't know was happening until it was already happening. They you had to go back to the lodge.
Welcome to Club Starborn.
And then was it Noelle was the woman in Constellation and the lodge? Noelle, when she mentioned something about the eye and that Barrett was up there and the Starborn was attacking, I'm like, oh whoa! I'm like, wait, is this it? And I go up there, and then all of a sudden, it's 21 guns for Barrett up there. It's like crazy, but it was very, very, it was very, very cool. Yeah, and now I'm having a lot of fun.
I love that because one of these days I'm going to actually do everything possible in one playthrough and then go into Unity and see the end for everything.
Yeah, that changed it for me, right? Because I'm like, okay, well, I'm level 52. I'm ready to move on, blah, blah, blah. But then you realize how much space is in there. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, what if I had gone through and completed every quest line? Because I had the whole thing for the UC, the big giant dinosaur terrible.
It also
figure.
shifts. You can't get every result at the end because some of those things you can only go either or different ways depending on your choices, and it makes a difference at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. It just adds another level to the game. So the main thing I'm having fun with now is being a Starborn. Get the Starborn responses and all the conversations. It's just like, we were talking pre-show about the ground pounder mission. Yeah. And you're talking to the one guy, you're like, I think the captain, you can trust the captain. Trust me. It's like, how would you even know that? Like, never even met her. So, I mean, that was a lot of fun. I did try my hand at Outposts.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. It was I found, well, first I spent like several hours on this on one planet. I'm blanking on it now. It's supposed to be a good starting planet. I'm looking for iron, aluminum, helium-3.
Bessel 3B is one of the best places, but if you're looking for those three, you're probably in the same area as Aquila.
Right. Well, maybe. Yeah, you're maybe right there. But I spent forever looking for the most amount of resources in one area. I finally got the extractors pumping. I got a couple of storage bins. It took me, I don't know, like an hour to realize, hey, maybe you need some source of power for this stuff to work. Put up a couple of solar panels. And it was a lot. I had conversations on Facebook and I had conversations in Discord. And I'm just like, I am already over this. Because in addition to the outpost building, I didn't have room to build a big landing pad with the building options and all that stuff. But I did have room for a smaller one. But my ship could only be 20 meters. So then, of course, with my brain, 5-6 hours trying to get a ship under 20 meters.
It's tough. It's a tough challenge.
Dude, I gave up on all that. And now I have my new ship, which I posted in the Discord. And I am preparing to do my pirate playthrough, which means I have to get all Constellation off my ship and find I have a list of NPCs that you can hire that they don't excuse me, they don't complain about, if you do untoward things. So that's next on the agenda.
Not a bad looking ship,
That's
sir.
one thing that I have not done yet in the game, which I am going to one of these days, I promise you, is actually hire a crew that's not a part of the main Constellation, because that's all I've ever done. I have never picked up anyone in a bar. I feel like I don't have my manhood yet. I will get to it. There's that one guy that you use all the time, Rook, that's a sniper.
Simeon?
Yeah, so I want to find him at least and see how we tag team.
He is actually really good with the hard target. Oh my God.
Put a hard target in his hands and mine, done.
The bar in Sidonia, I hired one woman. It was the only one like that I had hired, and it was because she was an energy weapon specialist and had a lot of energy weapons on my ship. And she has, hands down, the worst voice ever. It's.
Hey, Captain,
honestly,
want to go with me, Captain?
The biggest thing I'm waiting for this update rollout, though, the thing I'm most excited about was the because it was a big thing for me, because I kept this character just because I'm like, all right, I already scrapped one character, but the update where you can go through Unity and change your background stuff,
yeah, I'm
for it, because right now I just foreclosed my house because I didn't want to deal with it. I found my parents at the Astro Lounge. So that's getting funny. My parents were at the Astro Lounge doing Aurora.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was great. So I just, my first character, I was Freestar Collective. I just, I feel more Freestar. I want to have my bounty hunter because I have the bounty hunter background currently. Yeah, so I just want to change some things up, but I don't want to kill all my progress to do it.
I am with you on that 100%. I was actually debating, I was talking about this in my playthrough, but you nailed it. I am debating not going through my next Unity, my next New Game Plus, until the patch releases.
So it makes sense now to listen to y'all talk about it, because I originally was against it just because of the continuity of the character and whatnot. But it is a way to keep people playing with all the new playthroughs while still making it fresh, because you get to change your character.
I always looked at it as like, okay, my guy has been through 7 different versions of the universe. He's going to change based on his experiences. Mm-hmm. So I want to put things in there that reflect him changing.
I mean, you become eventually, if this was like a real thing, there's a friend that I listened to who had this theory about Groundhog's Day, and they go through and discuss all the elements, the Bill Murray movie. They discuss all the elements of this, like what repeating all of that over and over again would actually do to your psyche, what would actually do to yourself as a person. Mm-hmm. So absolutely going through these different unities, these different worlds would be potentially catastrophic.
All my guy has had for all these maybe hundreds of years he's been going through these unities is wanted.
There's a study out there in science, or not science, but there's a conversation I was listening to. There's a science communicator I listen to on YouTube. He was talking about how the one thing you really don't want is infinite life. And that's because you will start forgetting over time a lot of the stuff you knew while you were young. And depending upon how you roleplay, the length of time it takes to go through one playthrough to a Unity, if you're by 5 or 6, you probably forgot a lot of your original background stuff that you knew. So it would make sense that your character would change and actually develop new background traits from what he can remember from past Unities.
I'm just so tired of freaking bounty hunters. It's unreal. Like every other planet I jump to, they're trying to hell me. I just say, forget you, and go right to the planet and ignore them.
Oh my God, what was I? Was I watching Supernatural? No, Rook just set off a bell in my head. There was a guy who. Oh yeah, never mind. Okay, sorry. If you like Supernatural, there's a Greek god who was cursed by Zeus to die every day and didn't remember the beginning of his life, and then he's living on today, but every day he has to die. That's another podcast. Sorry.
I know someone who's a huge fan of Supernatural, so if they're listening, shout out.
Hell yeah.
On my playthrough, guys, it's something that's been occurring to me for a long time, but never brought up on the show. But Bethesda, I want variable zoom scopes.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. We're in the future, and we have only one level zoom.
It's kind of crappy that we can zoom in with our scanner, but we can't zoom in with a sniper scope.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't that be a skill, even a skill or a mod that you can make? Like, why not? Yeah, I got what am I? I'm playing with a hard target and a Beowulf, and somehow my Beowulf scope seems to be more powerful than the hard target scope. I don't know how it's working, but yeah, absolutely.
I was talking to Dr. Tiki, speaking of mods, and he's like, I was talking about how I would like to do a mod and base it off something on the show. Like, I was thinking about doing some kind of little town in some planet and having me and Rook and Archon and some other people in there as quest givers, and then giving a quest line based off of our personality. Like me, go kill somebody, go assassinate someone, SP sniper.
That's great.
Rook, you have to go explore these 15 planets.
Okay, how about a raw pod? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to throw this out. A raw podcast radio station on whatever your favorite planet is, right? Broadcasting, right? And then, yeah, you get little news updates like through SSNN, but I don't know, maybe you can hear them,
Underground Raw
like
Network.
Underground Raw, yeah.
Actually, that would be cool because we could put our podcast on there, and then at the end of each podcast, put SSN snippets in there.
It's perfect.
Little news pieces about the underground that may or may not exist.
All of a sudden, our listeners skyrocket because of that.
That'd be great.
He wanted Dark Tiki wanted me to do like a trading outpost.
Oh, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, I like that idea better though. I need to do the village with the quest givers with the pirate radio station.
Remember, all the quest givers have to be standing in a glowing piece of light, though.
And we could even include Raw Market in there.
There you go. Raw Market.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get a hold of Creation Kit, and I'm going to have to go nuts on it.
Now, what will we call the village? We got the Raw Market. We got the Raw Podcast Radio Show.
Random area wide. I don't know.
Random area. We'll workshop it.
Yeah, we'll work on the name. Oh, boy. So I have been working on getting my artifacts again on this next... I think I'm on 6. Yeah, 6. New Game Plus 6. And I had to go to Pup 1 for an artifact. And I love that planet when I get these missions to do this because it's got 0.06 G gravity. So you kind of lift up and you're suddenly flying in the air. Well, the best thing about it is I went to a base and there was about 9 pirates guarding the area outside of it, right? It took me 10 shots to kill them. Yes, I missed a shot. It happens. With the Beowulf. It was a Beowulf. It wasn't a hard target, so that was my difference there. And every time you hit them with that, in that gravity, any bullet, they go flying about 30 to 50 feet in the air. It's absolutely hilarious. When you're inside of a building, you take them out with one shot. I couldn't tell for half a second if they were dead because they start slowly falling.
Yes, absolutely.
My favorite one is when
did I hit them?
My favorite one is on the small gravity planets. You shoot them and they just lean up against the wall like they're just chilling.
It would be awesome if we got like a 5G gravity situation going on.
Oh god!
And when you shoot them, they kind of collapse like they got squished. like you release the pressure of a can.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, you shoot their pack, they go flying up and then just slam to the ground really hard.
They wouldn't make it very far, just be like, and then die. Yeah, I had too much fun with that. And there was a robot there, those stupid dog robots, the 4-legged ones, the big nasty ones. Yeah. It took me 2 shots with a Beowulf to kill it. So I'm saying, man, that ballistics, sniping, top notch. Even with a Beowulf, I'm taking everything out.
Yeah, I started upping that in stealth recently. Those are the 2 I've been working on, stealth and ballistics.
Yeah, that's the way to go. I found something that really tickled my fancy in the game that I had never seen before. I found it by pure accident.
Tell us about your fancy tickled.
I went to this very same base, and there was this desktop globe sitting on the desk in the entranceway. And I was messing around, and I shot the globe. And it started spinning. So I decided to test the physics of Starfield, which we already know is top-notch. Sure. And I kept shooting it, and it'd go faster and faster until it started wobbling and flew off the desk. And now I'm collecting all I can find. Because as soon as we get to build our ships, the insides of them, I'm going to just load one of these places with globes so you can just shoot them.
That's so amazing. I love that.
He's going to have one hab that's all globes. One hab, you open the door and it's falling out TP.
See, I don't know if I'm going to need TP any longer. I'll be too caught up in shooting globes. I'm going to try it with different guns. There's a workshop here we got to go through.
Of course. I started seeing some on some of my groups. I started seeing a lot of these decorations that people are doing with the empty habs. Look like 70s living rooms. Honestly, people are doing crap. I just don't think I have the patience for it. Like when I played Fallout 4, I had to get it was actually Eleonora, who works for Bethesda now, who did a bunch of clutter mods, to like stock shells, because I wasn't like going to put in, ain't no way I got time for that. But it's impressive what people are doing already.
So one thing I was jealous about with Archon is when he actually showed us, because his first character, he got the house. And then he decorated it. And I'm like, I hate you. I can't decorate that well.
Yeah. I wanted to level up demolitions. I want to level up explosives because I'm only rank 1 in it. And I want to get to rank 4 because it looks like it's going to be awesome. And then I realized how difficult it is at high levels to rank that up. Because in order to rank it up, you got to get so many kills with explosives. And like right now, I need 50 to get rank 2. I have 2. So I'm trying to soften them up and then throw a grenade or a mine at their feet to kill them. And the ones that give dot damage don't work. Tried it. Like the poison gas or the frost or fire don't work.
That sounds brutal.
Problem is you're softening them up will kill most of them.
That's my problem. I have to switch to some kind of weaker gun, like a handgun, to try to soften them up a little bit. Because if I use a sniper rifle or any rifle, they're dead, elite or otherwise. But yeah, I'm going to have to stock up. And I wish we had the ability, we've said this many times before, to build bullets and also explosives. Let me build my nades. I want to fill up a grenade with 22 ammo and throw it.
There we go. All right.
Bam,
Diabolical.
That's what I'm working on. And okay, so one of the guys in our Discord, Mossy, brought up a space station that he found on Bessel 2. Mossy, go to the Unity. Rip the Band-Aid
Mossy,
off.
no Unity, Mossy. We need to change his handle on Discord.
Yeah. He needs to learn what the Starborn is about and the options you have with Starborn.
Right.
Kilo knows now.
I know now. That's why I'm acting like an elitist, because like 3 days ago I did what Mossy has done.
So the space station that he brought up is on Bezel 2, and you really can't see it till you get to Bezel 2, but when it's there, he kept hearing it's new, but Rook...
All right, so I'm going to jump in here. That was one of the first space stations I came across when I was exploring with Rook in the very early stages of the game release. So it's not a new station. It's been around for a while, but it's on a low-level planet, and so not a lot of people go through there. Yeah, it's actually not bad, though. I actually enjoyed the story of it.
Yeah, so I did it. I actually went there on my lunch break today because he posted it in chat and checked it out because I've never been there. It's got a very interesting backstory if you take the time to look for the logs. Dr. M. Ito and what happened to the station with being hacked and stuff like that. I'm not going to give too much into it, but it's very interesting. I recommend going there. But there's a magazine you can find in the station that gives you 5% bonus damage to ship missiles.
Dude, that won't do me much good. I don't use missiles that much.
I do. So it was worth it for me going there.
I have been thinking about making a torpedo boat.
Oh, okay.
Like a U-boat?
No, like Star Trek. Taking the Akira class and just loading it up with torpedoes.
Gotcha. Okay. I want to see it.
But obviously, it looked like a submarine because, Starfield, spaceships.
And he also mentioned, Mossy, that their enemies are a lot higher level than the planets around them. And they are. I found a level 98 pirate legend on board with 2 turrets.
Wow.
And it did take me a while to get him down. So I got him down to a sliver of life, and I saved it because I really want a weapon I can use. I want to find an old Earth hunting rifle, my baby hard target, but no. I may have saved it and loaded it several dozen times, maybe. Several dozen, 30, 40, I don't know. And all I ever got was blue suit items the entire time. The entire time.
That seems like robbery.
It is. It very much is. But the downfall is it's in a level 10 system. So
he's level 98, though.
I know, but I've noticed that the lower level systems don't give as much epic gear or legendary gear as the higher level systems.
I don't know what that pertains. We'll find out. I might try it a couple more times and see, just to see. I did get one legendary item, and it was a pack. That's how it rolls with me. I have the worst gaming luck known to man. It's terrible. Yeah. So that was my play for right now. I'm really debating about not going into the Unity again yet. I'm gonna go do my epic. I already started doing the epic power run. Got my first few powers to rank 7.
Nice.
And the first one again was the one that Rook loves. That I completely blanked on the name.
Personal
atmosphere. Thank you. Yep. Rank 7. Got that to rank 7. Didn't really notice a big change, but the time seems to definitely last at least 10 or 15 seconds longer.
Well, once you get it to a level to where you can run, and by the time it wears off, your power's recharged.
That was around rank 5 is what I experienced. It was right around there. Rank 6, easy. I can just spam it. As soon as it runs off, put it right back because my power meter is already full.
It's great for exploring because you don't run out of air.
I'll be honest. keep forgetting that I have powers. I kept forgetting that I had power until I got sent star stuff, and I used that all the time. But before that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Every time I hit the start menu, I'm like, oh right, okay, yeah, there's powers.
Now that I've gotten stronger powers, I've been using a lot of the other ones to try them out, especially the offensive ones, and yeah, there is a big difference.
I bet.
Yeah, for me, I keep forgetting I have powers until I accidentally hit the Z key and trigger the power, and I'm like, why did I trigger this offensive power in the middle of town?
Yeah,
it's Z key on the Xbox. It's both bumpers at the same time.
Yeah.
All right,
that
so
makes it safer.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe. Not with me.
Except I keep opening my scanner by accident because that's the left button. And then,
I've never played on the controller. I don't know. I can tell you all the keyboard commands. So let's talk. We're going to actually do the first side mission we've done in several episodes. And yeah, Kilo, you brought this one up, and it's a good one too.
We did. Holy cow! Yeah, I actually, it's the one we're going to be talking about today is Juno's Gambit, and I brought this up just because I had just encountered it in my current NG, and the AI thing has always fascinated me from Space Odyssey 2001 all the way to everything, right? It's kind of it's a fun thing in science fiction, but it wasn't until I actually started diving into this I found out how deep this kind of goes. I have never. Apparently, there's a few different locations where you can come across this ship orbiting a planet, and you have to usually take out an eclectic ship that is in the area before you can approach this large vessel that's out there in space. I keep getting it in Tau Ceti. That's where I kept encountering it. But Shoza 3 in the Shoza system, I am 2. There's a couple different places I can come across.
Yeah, there's 3 of them that's known to spawn at. Yeah.
Right. Now, apparently, you don't have to be a part of Ryujin in order to get this side quest, but every time I've encountered it, I've always been in the middle of doing Ryujin work. And what it is this vessel. You get on board, you can hear some voices on the other side of the door. You open the door, you got 2 Ryujin operatives there, and they're trying to shut down this ship, Juno, which is an artificial intelligence. And of course, you're posed with the decision, this conundrum, this moral, conundrum. That's a good one. I like that. To decide whether to save the ship or, and side with the side with the operatives and destroy the ship, which, spoiler alert, doesn't really work. And there's also a third option where everybody can actually live and Juno goes about her way. But what I found interesting when I started digging into this a little bit earlier is that Juno is actually based on the actual NASA probe of the same name.
Yeah.
Now, in the game, this probe is actually thrown out of our system by the gravity of the sun and comes across some mysterious benefactors that aren't actually named who give Juno sentience. And then over the course of time, like a true AI, and over the course of time, she augments herself, or it augments itself, in order to eventually become this large vessel that you have to deal with. So there, you got nods to 2001 there. You got, nods to old NASA and stuff like that.
Got nods to the original Star Trek movie.
Oh, yeah.
With V'ger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So very interesting. I did not know until I read this that you could have a situation where everybody lived.
Yeah.
I've only I freed Juno once and took out the operatives. And then this time I tried to kill Juno and the operatives got taken out anyways. And then Juno disappears. Yeah.
The bad thing about that is Juno will hunt you down at the end of that one. Just be warned.
Oh, that's good to know. That's news. That's news to me. But I just thought it was just one of those things that, I just thought was just so interesting.
In order to do the third option where you can get everyone happy, you have to be a Ryujin operative to do it. Okay.
See, I don't know how I missed that because I've been a Ryujin. Every time I've come across it, I've been a Ryujin operative.
I've done it that way twice, and it's got in my opinion, by far the best result. But I've done the other 2 ways as well. And it doesn't, the other 2 don't end well, especially later on. But the third route, you get something special from Juno later on. I'm not going to spoil.
Oh, you get Juno as your ship?
That'd be awesome.
I know.
That would be sweet. Isn't it? But it depends on what you say while you're playing the third option, because there's like 4 different choices.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with it.
Determine, Yeah. So that was it. That was super interesting. That was a fun one.
That's a very interesting little side quest. There's a lot of them in the game like that, but that one definitely caught my attention because I recognized the name Juno when I first went into it, and I looked up the probe and everything like that, and it was really cool.
Yeah, super interesting. And the fact that all this stuff gets sprinkled in is just, I don't know, it's just next level for me. I just love it.
Watch the first time I did that quest, and I think it's the only time I've come across that quest. I instantly, as Juno's telling you about the backstory, I instantly thought Star Trek. That was the first thing that popped into my head. I didn't think of Space Odyssey, but now it makes sense.
Yeah. And if you guys are interested in Star Trek, by the way, a little plug here. Me and Mr. Rook talked all about Star Trek on our recent Raw and Nerdy episode. So,
go listen to that.
We could have kept going for another couple of hours, but we had to cut it down.
Still
if
over
you haven't
an hour.
Listened yet, you're wrong. You're wrong. So get over there and listen to it. So that's the side quest I wanted to bring up. So,
and we haven't done one, and I think the last one we did was somewhere in like episode 23 or 4 or something like that. So it was a while back.
Well, we possibly have a couple more coming because we did talk a little bit pre-show about some other ones that we might be interested in kind of diving into. So, wait around for that, folks.
So around Discord, we brought up the Mossy thing, but there's one that was outside of Discord that I had to bring up. It was on X. I thought it'd be a great talking point. But Richard on X, he asked, I wonder how much difference it would make if you max out difficulties and all the settings and then go crafting at an outpost. And the way I look at it, you can get somewhere like 60-something%. I don't know the official numbers, but bonus XP, and that will translate to making adaptive frames.
Yeah, that would, wow. Yeah.
So if I can get 500 XP per frame as I'm doing it now, which is crazy. If you go fast, you can get massive amounts of XP doing it. This would probably put you at about, 700 or 800 XP per? So the gain would be dramatic. And if you're high levels, you can actually start gaining levels rapidly again.
Right.
And you won't have all the side effects. You're just going to an outpost. So switch over and do it. And that'd be a big thing.
It's got to be something they took into consideration when they were talking about this stuff, right? Like,
it's got to be.
That stuff feels a little exploity, so that's interesting.
Yeah. Unless they
they actually might have it set up to where crafting at a station doesn't get the XP bonus when you build stuff like that.
So those listeners of ours that are in the beta right now, try it. Let us know what the result is. I'm curious.
Yeah, let us know. Absolutely.
So also in our Around Discord, Kilo posted something from Anna. What's this about the string theory and Unity changes with update?
Yeah, I gotta give shout out to Anna Elizabeth because she was such a sport. Because I'm not necessarily like super smart guy, but I'm super curious. And we were talking about Unity and how the effects of being able to change backgrounds would affect gameplay from a role playing standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of led into, different people living in different realities. Then we got into a little bit of string theory. And honestly, she started talking over my head. I'm not 100% sure where we ended up in that conversation.
I didn't agree. I read that whole conversation. I couldn't respond. I was working, but I didn't agree with half of her statements. But that's just my personal opinion based on what I studied. But
right.
She was on an interesting point, though.
Mm-hmm.
She had a very interesting point in some of it. I got to reread it to get more details, but
I'll have to go back through. I haven't had a chance to read it, so I'm actually interested.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and I consider myself an okay smart guy, but she seemed to really have a better grasp of some of this stuff. And this is just another example of why, if you're not in our Discord, you're incorrect. You need to correct yourself and get in our Discord because we have great conversations all the time. All the time.
Don't get me wrong, Anna. I think you're very educated, but I just didn't agree with some of your opinions. So.
Yeah. I told y'all my thoughts on the Unity and being able to change your backgrounds from role play theory. And this is geared directly towards Anna Elizabeth because we actually answered her question she had last episode or the episode before, where she was asking something specifically about role play. And it's building up her character stats based on role play. My whole theory on being able to change your stats is if you roleplay it where one run through new game or run through the game is a set, say, 50 years, you're going to start forgetting stuff as you go. And your new backgrounds are what you remember from your earliest times as your background at that point.
which from a roleplay standpoint is actually really interesting. Would be really interesting to play and explore. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if anyone knows the Explorer route, it's definitely Rook.
That's true.
He's done it enough.
He's a hero for that. I couldn't do it.
Sometimes it's just relaxing for me.
I shot one alien. I think I tried to chase a bird, and I got like 3 or 4 scans on this thing, and it still said, "Hey, you still got like 15% to scan." I'm like, I'm done already. There's no way I'm ever gonna 100% surveying. It's not happening.
I think I've only ever 100% surveyed one planet because it was only like 3 things I had to get. It was easy.
I was working
gas
on
giants. I have 100% of gas giants. That's where I'm thinking.
You appear.
Yep,
it's a gas giant.
Easy.
You're done.
Yeah. I won't lie. I've 100% almost every system that Kalen has visited, except for Leviathan, and that's because I left the Leviathan to go do the Freestar quest.
Yeah, that's too much for me, man. More props to you. If I'm not sniping something every 15 minutes, I'm doing something wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, like honestly, Bethesda should be sending you something in the mail for all these Explorer, dude. It's insane.
A certificate of Explorer.
Todd Howard, make it happen. I know you're leering. I know you're listening.
Lastly, Nixter 3000 said, started up Starfield for the first time this week, and for the first time ever, I did not feel like doing much. I think it's because I'm looking forward to the update and those gameplay settings that aren't in the game yet. I'm really looking forward to going into a base and die like a Rainbow Six Siege, like in Rainbow Six.
That's so metal. I love that.
It is.
I put that in there because I agree. The game feels a little bit, I'm apprehensive and eager for these updates so I can get in there and change things around, go into extreme difficulty, and see how my sniping really holds up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We went on to the hardest setting, and it is now the default setting to play on because I'm so used to it. I want a harder challenge, but I don't want delivering. I know.
So you guys going to do the hardcore survival
on extreme?
You have to eat food and sleep, and
that is a topic for next week.
Yeah, something I was going to bring up on this show was what kind of challenges that players can run when the update 4 releases. So I want you guys to think about that.
Okay.
And then we'll bring those up on next week's episode 40. But that's going to wrap up for episode 39 tonight. And I want to thank Kilo very much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And joining us. And yeah, so if you want to reach out to the show, especially for business or like
pleasure.
What?
Especially pleasure.
Pleasure.
You said business, and I said, or pleasure.
Or requesting things.
Slide into my DMs. Yeah.
StarfieldRaw@gmail.com. Join us on Discord. Discord.gg/raw podcasts. Plural, not singular. Podcasts. Facebook is Raw Podcasts. Our Instagram?
There's a pattern here, people. Raw Podcasts. 1.
And he broke the pattern. You can follow this show on Twitter, and that's @StarfieldRaw. You can reach us individually as well. You can find me as @TheWigit on pretty much anything. I've actually been playing a lot of Borderlands recently, so if you want to join me in that, you can. My name for Shift, which is their internal thing, is @TheWigit. So pretty much anything except for Instagram, where it's AuthorWidget.
You can find me everywhere as some variation of Tomcat213. Most of them are Tomcat213. Instagram's Tomcat_213, except for Steam and X. Those are @Rook213.
You guys make it so difficult. Kilo 1122, Kilotango 1122. See, I had to get it right. Everywhere: Instagram, X, Threads, Tumblr. You'll find different stuff all these places. If I have an account there, it's Kilotango 1122. Yeah, I did get a chance to do this on the Raw and Nerdy, but I felt like mentioning it here if that's okay. If you're interested in shipbuilding for Starfield, I run a group called Starfield Shipyard, no mods, no salt. On Facebook, you can come see us there. A lot of great ship designs. And I also want to give a little shout out to my friend DM Wolf on Twitch. He runs a Modifius 2D20 Fallout game on Friday nights on Twitch for tabletop roleplay. I highly recommend. So definitely give him a check out. Check him out.
Awesome. I was going to say something I completely forgot.
I am so sorry.
No, it's all good. Oh,
See, my
yeah.
mouth keeps going, and it just keeps going.
The only reason that my Instagram was author widget was because that's right after my books first released. My publisher recommended I do something like that, so I did. But I only did it on that.
Well,
I'll change it back.
Well, your author, your widget, keep it.
Emperor of Continua, if anyone's interested, the first book.
Yes,
I hear it's a good book.
Yeah. Are we gonna get some more? Are we gonna get some more of that on the raw nerdy side?
Yeah. Now that we're done with WonderCon, I am planning on getting back into reading a little bit more of it.
Heck yeah.
It takes a lot of effort. I mess up a lot.
There you go.
Well, anyway, thanks so much for listening, everybody, and have a fantastic week in space.
Y'all stay safe out there, everybody.
Take what you can, give nothing back.